what is going on, guys? Welcome to the Backlog Podcast number 59. I'm Matt.
Quintessence.
And let's have a moment of silence for August here. May he rest in peace, wherever he is, Hopefully he's doing well.
Resting.
He's probably resting. I think he had to go to a wedding or something like that last night. So he's probably just like super tired.
That's some grade A BS.
Maybe it is. But today we were gonna get into oh man, I don't even know what to call this because I feel like it's a lot of different things. But we were gonna review Naraka Bladepoint, which
Naraka Bladepoint.
Is it Naraka?
It's Naraka, yeah.
Naraka? Am I crazy? Because it says N-A-K-A.
Naraka.
Naraka. Anyway, so we're gonna review Naraka Naraka Bladepoint, and it's sort of like a battle royale style fighting game / action game, with like a little bit of a mix of like a roguelike in there as well. But essentially you could take Monster Hunter, League of Legends, Fortnite with like a little bit of Soul Calibur, and it kind of makes up a pretty coherent like fighting game / third person action game. It's almost like character action like Devil May Cry, but just with PvP elements.
Yeah, it's also like surprisingly deep, actually. Like I wasn't really expecting much going into it, but it pleasantly surprised me, and I think it might be like a game I continue to play like going forward.
Yeah, I know that I didn't necessarily get to play it for the 35 hours like you did, but
yeah,
I think we played it for maybe an hour or two or something like that, and it was really fun. I was hooked.
Yeah, right.
I was surprised how easy it was to get into it. I just did the tutorial and I just, got Quint to run me through the game. And it was very fun. We were doing 2v2 duos through it. So I mean, other than like parrying and stuff, what kind of other elements does the game bring to the table that I'm kind of missing for depth?
Well, okay, so it actually has like a fairly like robust combo system. And move system. So like you have various focus attacks, and they all have different charge levels that do different things, as well as like perfectly timed focus attacks. So it's like if you use this focus attack, as soon as it reaches level 2, like you see that flash, right? Yep. If you use it exactly on that flash, you'll do a different attack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so then there's also like there's sliding attacks and crouching attacks and dashing attacks and a bunch of crazy movement tech. Like people do this thing called air stepping, which is like you grapple really high, and so it like kind of like slingshots your character, and then you swing your weapon, dash in midair, jump again in midair, swing your weapon, dash, jump, and you just keep doing that. And you go much farther than like traditional just like grapple jump.
And is that more like mobility options what you're talking about specifically?
Yeah, like
okay.
That's like just a crazy mobility option. And then we didn't really get into it, but there's a thing called scale rushing where you cling onto the side of a building and you charge up your focus attack, and it allows you to like shoot forward or shoot at an enemy and like dash at them. Yeah, there's like a lot of moves and stuff in this game, and then I've seen people be able to just string all these things together to make like actual combos.
Yeah.
Just wipe the floor with people.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously deep. I wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't thinking about the like clinging to the wall thing, using that as an attack on someone. Because in the tutorial, they only show you that as like a way from getting to place.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I wasn't even thinking that. And I know like while we were playing, you were saying, oh, when you slide, you can jump after it. I see a lot of people doing that.
Yep.
Or dashing and then jumping. And I was kind of trying to play with that a lot after you kind of said it. And I mean, I don't know how well your mobility was, but you were definitely ahead of me kind of far. So maybe that was why.
It seemed to help, you know.
For sure. Um, but I was really impressed by the game just playing it for the few seconds that I did. I would love to be able to get like 3 people into a lobby and then go out and do 3v3 teams or something.
Yeah, that would be fun for sure.
So
I know that Chewy started playing apparently, so
yeah, maybe we'll have to ring him in to play some.
hit up Chewy. Yeah, he
So
probably played more than me.
oh yeah, he's a trooper when it comes to games when he gets into it. So when you played it, have you played a lot of the story mode at all, or have you just been doing all?
No, I only played like a few missions of the story mode because they have like this system called the Journey's Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is it's basically a way to like ease people into the game, and so it has like these per level like quests essentially. And some of the quests are like, hey, go into the PvE mode and clear this stage, and then you get a reward. And so I've basically only have done the bare minimum PvE.
Oh, okay.
And focus mostly on the PvP. But what I played of the PvE was actually pretty fun. Like there's bosses with like mechanics and stuff like that you have to actually respect or you die. So that's always fun.
Yeah, I mean, I know like the game was telling me about like the PvE stuff as like sort of hey, you don't want to go fight people, get your friends and go fight this boss. My only thing about like PvE bosses is that they're always like absurdly difficult. So I don't want to I don't want to. The only thing I don't like, that's the only thing I don't like about Monster Hunter is, when you're kind of, it just, bosses take so long to die a lot of times if you're not high level or you don't have high level equipment. So I don't know, maybe we'll ease into that, check it out a little bit later. But
I want to check it out. What little I played was fun. So it seems like a solid, actually well thought out mode rather than something that was just tacked on, right? Because like to tick a box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, I think I forgot to mention this too, but like the game does have like a very like Chinese Journey to the West style.
Yeah.
And I don't have all of the characters, but like when you actually initially get the game, you only have 4 warriors. I don't remember their names off the top of my head, but I was using this monk character, who I think was like a Tien Shenhan like character.
Oh, yeah,
Tianhai, yeah. And I was like trying to find the third eye to put on him and all that, but I couldn't find it, unfortunately. Maybe that he'll have a costume later on down the road.
Yeah, maybe it's there somewhere.
I hope so.
Yeah, but it's very like heavily Chinese, like wuzhai, if you know what that is. It's kind of like the mystical arts, kind of like swordsmanship, crouching tiger, hidden dragon kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
It seems very inspired by that kind of combat and like atmosphere, because you have people just like flying all over the place and swinging their swords.
Yeah. That makes sense.
There's magic.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen all the buffs yet, but I mean, I think my character had like he turned into like a giant. Of course, he turned into a giant like 4-armed guy, like Tien Shenhan, and he was able to like punch and throw people and stuff. And I remember I was like surrounded by like 5 or 6 people, and I was like punching down at the ground at them. It was pretty fun, man.
Picking them up and tossing them.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a good time, and I'm actually curious to see what the some of the other buffs are. I know I saw someone who had like a poison. Like they were able to poison other people or something like that.
That was actually a environmental thing. Like in the swamp area, if you hit the mushrooms, they release like toxic spores, and anyone in that area gets infected. And you take like a percentage health of your damage until the poison ticks off.
So like, what are some of the sort of like super moves and like like buffs that your characters do have?
So like it varies pretty heavily, but like for example, one of the starting characters, Viper Neen,
Mhm.
what she has is she has like she can like swing her sword and like shoots out like a wave that knocks people away that
Mhm.
she uses as like a strong defensive option. Or she has her ultimate where she like stands in place channeling and like an orb appears around her, and if she channels that whole time and you're stuck in the orb, you get stunned for like 3 seconds, and she can just wail on your face.
Oh,
It's pretty heinous, but you can like beat her by like line of sighting it. So like if you run into like a building or you get outside of the orb, then it won't stun you. So like there is like counterplay to that kind of stuff.
so is it just like a giant AOE?
Yeah, it's just a huge AoE with like a line going towards you to like indicate, hey, you're being channeled on, and you're gonna have a really bad time if you don't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like while we were playing too, that when I would start to like beat up on somebody and they would get low health, they would just pop their ability, and
Yeah.
then I would have
Panic.
to I would start to panic because I realized that they're about to do a ton of damage.
Yeah.
Um,
Or heal, or just like turn into like a boss monster. Who knows, right?
yeah. And it really seemed like, you know, the best way to kind of get at someone was to flank them and sort of just, you know, not go at them straight on. Because when we were most successful, I found like early on in the game, it was because, you know, we just happened upon other people. I mean, other than just being a team, like, you know, kind of just getting at people like they were attacking you, and I would just like grapple hook into somebody. Um,
Yeah.
that's right. It does have like Monster Hunter style, like grappling hooks you can use, or even
Yeah.
Sekiro, I think, has a
Yeah,
grappling hook.
I think it'd be closer to Sekiro because like you can grapple onto people, and if you grapple onto people, it kind of like slightly stuns them, and so it opens them up to being attacked, or it stops their attack.
Hmm.
Like a guy was comboing me, and you grappled him, and that stopped his combo, and I was able to get out and survive, for example.
Yeah, that was a lot of my plan, was like essentially people just start to flank you or they would double team you, and I would grapple one of
Yeah,
them because I was hoping that they would just get off of you.
it
And
worked.
yeah, hey, it worked. Yeah. But yeah, man, the game was really good. Were there any kind
Really
of
fun.
like particular highlights like you wanted to?
Um, I would like to highlight how even if you have like weaker gear,
Hmm.
there's a lot of room to outplay people with better gear, and I really like that. Like from like a fundamental like battle royale stance, because you know, you drop in, you don't always get the best stuff, and then you're like, all right, cool, I just lose because this guy's just gonna like take his gun or whatever, and I'm dead.
Hmm.
But in Naraka, it's more okay. I have crappy weapons, but I can make this work because I can outparry. I can like parry them, and then they drop their weapon, and then I can pick up their weapon and beat them to death with their own weapon.
Hmm.
You know, for example. Or you could outplay them with like grappling hooks, or you could just simply like win the rock paper scissors on repeat and win that way. It's just the skill expression I feel is a huge draw. Yeah. Also, the
Yeah,
game's gorgeous. The game is very pretty. Like I run it on lowest settings and it still looks really nice.
really.
Yeah.
I thought it looked okay. I wasn't particularly blown away by it, but I mean,
For
maybe I'm
Battle
also
Royale, dude?
for about.
Think about it. There's like 12 people
Okay.
on your screen at once, and it still looks like that good. Eh.
That is true. The only kind of like one caveat, like performance wise, that I would kind of knock it down like a notch is, I think the online can be kind of shoddy at times.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Like, if people's internet isn't super consistent, then sometimes they will like almost teleport around a little bit, which is really unfortunate. But for the most part, it's hasn't been that poor in my like quite excessive amount of play at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say it's all like fantastic, super amazing, because it also has like a fairly upfront like monetization thing. They want you to buy those cosmetics.
Yeah.
They want you to be like, hey, here's like the deal of the day, man. Throw me some money, I throw you some nice things, eh? But at the end of the day, it is all cosmetics, and they don't have any actual effect on the gameplay other than, oh, maybe like there's like a splash of water or something like that when I swing the fancy trident, you know? So,
Yeah.
it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing I wanted to do was like, it definitely is like, you know, everybody cool is behind a pay window. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to try the tiger guy, but like, I don't know if I like this game yet. So I think that's one of the strengths of the game. It is free to play. So if you
Yep.
don't know if you know like this type of game, or you know if you're not sure about it, you can, you know, just buckle in, download the game. I think it's only like 37 gigs or 27 gigs, something like that.
Yeah, it's not that big, you know, compared to the current gaming scape where you download 120 gigabytes of game.
Yeah. So you know you can kind of jump in, try like a cast of like 4 people. That's all I had was 4 people. You know, see if you like the game, the characters, or see what other people are doing that is pretty interesting, and then just sort of decide from there, hey, do I want to buy this game? But there's no sort of like, you know, you can't play it all. You can just pick it up and play.
Yeah.
You know, I can play with full games with Quint, and there's no kind of short end
You don't
games.
even have to buy the game. You can still unlock characters. It's just they have it like a slower progression for the free to play.
Oh, okay.
That's all they did. So like you're limited to, what is it? It's 35 hero coins per week,
Mhm.
right? And then it takes 100 hero coins to unlock a new hero. So it'd be 3 weeks of playing occasionally, and then you get a new hero. Whereas if you buy the standard edition, you get 300 hero coins straight up, and then you have no cap on how many hero coins you can buy per week. So you can like rapid fire your progression. But if you only end up caring about like 1 or 2 heroes, then that just doesn't matter. Because it seems to have like an emphasis on really learning what each hero can do to maximize your gameplay.
Yeah. And I kind of think like this game is one of those interesting sort of hybrid games. And I think it's the first game. No, it may not be the first game like this. Like what was the game that like just got canceled recently? It was like a battle royale like wrestling game.
Oh, Rumbleverse.
Yeah, so we're starting to see
it was Rumbleverse-esque.
yeah, we're starting to see like fighting game genres blur into the battle royale genre, where it's not just like the shooter.
It's pretty hype. I think it's pretty hype. Naraka, I think, has been around longer than Rumbleverses, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just recently went free to play, but it's been around for like a couple or a few years now.
Do you have any kind of like end story or inside or backstory on the actual company that made the game?
I don't actually. I know they did a lot of like mobile stuff for a bit,
Yeah.
and then I don't know where it went from there because it's published by NetEase and then developed by 24 Entertainment, which I think was made with a group of people that had worked on stuff like Perfect World and stuff like that,
Okay.
if I recall correctly. And you can kind of like see that when you play the game.
Yeah.
Has, like the strong Chinese like mythology in it.
It also has like a kind of a big mobile feel though, like for sure.
It yeah, it does kind of have like that mobile game ish feel, but I feel like that's mostly like in the menus because again they want you to spend money.
Hmm.
But then when you get to the actual like gameplay, you don't really have any of like that mobile game thing. In fact, you have maybe a little too many buttons to press when you're in the game. Because I saw you just trying to loot someone. You're like, ah, I used my skill. Ah, I used my ultimate. You know, like.
Yeah, the buttons I play on controller, and maybe it's better suited for like a keyboard and mouse. But it has some weird button inputs, like it has like L3 and R3 used within combinations of L2 and R2 to be able to do certain moves, and I don't want to use L3 and R3 to do some moves. Like it just doesn't work. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right for me.
Yeah, I could definitely see that because mine's as simple as like clicking around and using like Control, WASD, QE, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little
So I
bit.
can see where there's too many buttons almost for a controller. But I have like looked into like the pro scene,
Mhm.
and it's actually pretty well split between like controller and keyboard and mouse. So that's something interesting. Like I know a lot of people rebind and remap things on the controller to make it more accessible. So
Yeah.
that might be something to look into if you wanted to continue playing.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's definitely something that I might have to watch some competitive gameplay just to, cuz first of all, I'm curious to see how people use those movement options and
It's crazy.
what does it actually look like? What is like a game that could be a shooter look like speed wise in, like a battle royale, like PvP type situation? Because a lot of times for me when I've watched like competitive shooters, everything's happening at the speed of light and I can't always keep track of like what's going on. A lot of times I see people shoot and it looks like they've shot nothing but they shot somebody and I'm like, how is that, they're dead. I'm so far removed from like the competitive shooter like space that
I'm like seeped in it. I've been playing like Counter-Strike since I was in freaking middle school and stuff like that. So I kind of like have like a finger on the pulse for that kind of stuff.
yeah.
So I'm the opposite. Whereas I'm actually newer to like fighting games in general, like taking fighting games serious. Whereas you have been taking fighting games fairly serious for a much longer time.
I would play a lot of. I started in 2D. It's why like
Yeah.
Tekken is so foreign to me a lot of times because I'm like, I should be able to press a button here. No, you can't. You can't press a button here, but I really want to. I could press this if I was playing any other 2D fighting game. It's like, no, this doesn't work that way.
Naraka has kind of a similar thing going on, actually, to piggyback off of that. Like you just press into like their blue focus attack, and then suddenly you're eating the dirt.
Yeah, for sure. So, with Naraka, I don't know why I called it Nakara. I have no idea.
Know either.
Anyway, with this game, yeah, it is Naraka.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Naraka. Anyway, anyway, with Naraka Bladepoint,
Dyslexia?
what
I don't know.
probably, don't worry about it. Y'all know what I mean now. What rating would you give this game?
I think with my current time, I would probably give it a 7.5 or an 8. I think it's very fun. I like the foundation that it has. I actually like the monetization they went with, not selling any kind of power whatsoever. It's a very pretty game. It seems to be actually well balanced, which is weird.
Yeah.
And I can't even imagine how they actually came to this point. The heroes are all like vastly different, which is great. and it actually runs well.
Yeah.
Surprising. Like the game's like seems to be well optimized. Like even my crappy little graphics card doesn't really have an issue playing it. So yeah, I'm at like a 7.5 or an 8. Probably an 8. I think I'll stick with an 8.
Damn. I can't give it
High
that
praise.
I don't know if I could give it that high of a rating just because I haven't put in as much time. And I think like you're a little more like, you know, familiar with it than I am. But like just off the cuff, I'd probably give it a 7. Like a good 7.
Okay.
I think it's a fun game, and that's coming from somebody who doesn't really play battle royales. I mean, I played Fortnite, and I didn't have as much fun as this. Like I'm not going back to Fortnite. You know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah, I don't know.
Whereas like right now, after playing those games, I'm like, damn, you know what? I really want to play more of that game. That was really fun.
Go a few more rounds. You know.
Yeah, I had to, at one point, I had to be like, listen, we got to stop so we can go get ready for the podcast. But yeah, man, the game is really excellent, and I'm gonna need a little.
It went free to play. It gave me a chance to try something new.
That's right. I'm gonna need a little bit more time with it though. I'll say that, and before I decide to like buy the rest of the characters or not. And I kind of like to get more people in and have more like a party experience with the game and see where that goes and how we fare in that environment.
Oh, you can also make like custom rooms. So like if you just wanted to play with your friends in kind of like a free-for-all thing with like respawns and stuff like that to like practice, you can do that too.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Forgot to mention that.
So, moving on. Next up, we have the Claudio trailer. Now,
yes,
this JoJo Quincy mofo, man, he's
anime guy.
He's looking more stylish than ever. I'll say that for free.
I enjoy his new design. He's always been like pretty extra, but they're like, all right, we're just gonna crank it all the way up to JoJo for his extra level now.
Oh yeah?
He's never gonna beat the allegations of being just a JoJo character.
He isn't, and I don't have any reason to. Actually, I have reason to believe that because, guess what? Somebody made a video cross-referencing.
Oh, what?
Yeah, someone made a video recently referencing Claudio and JoJo, and they lined up his posing. And his poses are ripped straight out of the pages of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
That makes me love him even more.
Actually, I'm gonna pull it up here pretty soon, but I have a video I'm gonna show you guys. That it was a TikTok that somebody made, and it came onto my feed recently. But here I'll pull it up. I don't know if you just want to watch on the actual stream, or you want me to pull it up down here.
Oh, I can just glance at the stream.
Okay.
I've seen it a few times because I was pretty hyped for Claudio in general, as people know. So, you know, I think it looks great. He looks powerful. Now that we've seen him in the beta, he's probably overtuned.
Okay.
He lost a lot of like moves, but the new stuff he's gained has just like pushed him up to kind of really, really good.
So is this a better version of Claudio than 7?
I think so, yeah. I think it's much better because he just has so many more like options. Like, okay, so the heat mechanic, right?
Right.
So for Claudio, when he's in heat, he can use all his starburst moves. He could just spam that shit.
Really?
Yeah. It's like absurd.
Okay. So,
and his infamous move, while running 2, like where some people call it like the Superman. You know, he just flies forward.
Right.
He has a new starburst version of that he can combo out of, and it deals a bunch of damage. and it like wall crushes. Like, man, it's powerful. It's also a mid when he does it in Starburst, so hold that.
Oh my god. What? Oh, what? That's so good. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Whoa. I didn't know that.
It's just a plus running ass mid.
So when you
Starburst.
say the Starburst, like he has a moment where he like does his heat and he like goes, "Oh, say," and then like his hand glows and his eye glows. So
Yeah.
so that's Starburst.
When he has glowy hand,
yeah.
he's in Starburst. Yeah.
Okay. So what that does is it basically just makes an active buff to his moves, like adds different properties to them.
Certain moves gain new properties. Yeah.
Okay.
And he lost a couple of his Starburst moves, and he lost a couple ways to gain Starburst, but since you can just have Starburst during heat, it was offset like completely and kind of pushed into the "oh my god, he's coming my way" category.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Claudio would be a stand user. It's true, and
he would. He definitely would. So like to show you the video that I found on TikTok, like, and it might take a little while for Quint to see this, but this is like somebody legit made this of all of the JoJo moves that he takes. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my god.
It's
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, and not only that, but I just love the idea of them taking this one character and then just taking another character from another series, which is clearly a Quincy from Bleach. Like that, he is like that. That's the only other thing I can think of that he sort of.
He do got some big Quincy energy, but maybe that's just like the energy bows talking. You know, it's not like Quincy has invented those. Probably. Or maybe they did. I don't know anymore.
I mean,
no, they didn't. D&D invented those.
Like, come on, man. Like, look at this. Look at this outfit. Like, it's got that. He has to be a Quincy.
He's kind of a Quincy ass Quincy.
Right?
However, you know, as for people that have read the Bleach manga and are possibly currently watching 1000-Year Blood War, you know, being a Quincy's maybe not the best thing because they're kind of Nazi-ish.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, they have strong, like, Nazi vibes in the final arc of Bleach.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, I'm definitely not up to that point yet, but I definitely love the kind of Quincy vibes that he gives off. And, like, how they're just like, you know what? We need to make this character an ode to shonen anime. So then they basically made Claudio. And I think another thing I really enjoy about the character is just how he is not only an ode to anime, but he is like essentially the yin to Jin Kazama's yang, where, you know, it shows the devil powers. There's of course angels and stuff, but there are also people that, you know, use like holy power, or at least we perceive it to be holy power. I like that lore-wise. I think it adds to the world of Tekken.
Honestly, I could see Claudio being kind of like a boss type character in Tekken 8, since he has like this complete opposite power to the devil gene, and he's actively hunting the devil gene.
Yep. And I think they had.
No. Go.
I think they had alluded to that in 7.
Yeah.
And well, spoilers,
that was
but
part of his little story. Yeah.
And at the end, they were like, you know, they kind of teased him as like being this bad guy, and so I agree with you. I think in Tekken 8, when he does appear, I think here's what's gonna happen. I think Jin is gonna beat Kazuya. I think Jin's gonna go through his whole character arc and kind of get reformed, but still have to deal with Claudio being like, no, you have to die.
Bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I could see it.
So, and I know, like, so kind of moving on a little bit here, you were saying that Claudio does a lot of damage, but
yes. Everyone does a lot of damage.
Yeah, out of curiosity, so what is like the Tekken? What is your experience watching the Tekken beta? I haven't seen a whole lot of it. I can only tell you a little bit of what.
My experience has been matches are really fast because you can literally start the match,
Right.
activate heat mode, and start chipping down your opponent. Just like immediately. Like I was watching a little bit of Speed Kicks play, and he plays Hwarang.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people know who Speed Kicks is, of course. And he'll just activate heat in the beginning of the match and just start spamming like freaking Hwarang mixes. And
Yeah.
the whole time, even if you're blocking, you're getting chipped down, and then he finally gets like a lucky hit, you're getting full comboed. Like, it's very aggressive. Harada was not kidding when he talked about how he wanted Tekken to be more aggressive, because they dialed the damage and the aggression up to like an 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm actually a little concerned that we don't have enough defense, because it looks like backdashes have also been nerfed. Like, a lot of characters' backdashes have been nerfed. Like King can barely backdash now. Like,
Really?
First and foremost, his fighting style has been changed to like brawly, almost like Marisa kind of fighting, because he's like getting armor and then grabbing you and like getting in with the armor. He's not about like being evasive or like backdashing with like Jaguar step and all that stuff anymore. His playstyle is completely changed. This is like a completely different King, for example.
So it sounds like they want him to be more like Zangief, where it's like
they want him to go in.
Yeah, they want him.
There's no back.
Yeah, everybody's got to commit to, like, they're kind of bringing him more towards like a Street Fighter archetype grappler. It sounds like.
For sure.
Is there? Have you happened to see? Is there any KBDs, or have they taken that out of the game?
There's KBD, but it's, like I said, it's a lot slower. Like, the distance that you move has been roughly, it's about like 3/4 what you got before. So like, for every 3, you're basically missing 1. So it's just kind of like, oof, all right, we're just kind of moving in slow motion compared to Tekken 7 almost, except for when you're going forward.
Right.
The forward momentum has shifted. One of the best examples of this is now you can literally run right next to your opponent.
Oh.
So like, even if you're bad at like wall running inputs, you could just do them.
Oh.
Like, I'm trash at wall running inputs, but you can literally just run while you're right up next to someone with blatant disregard for the opponent.
So like what, like instant shining wizard, while running, that's all gonna be easier now.
All of that is significantly easier. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It's kind of insane.
That's
Like,
amazing.
you're just watching like these kings are just like shining wizard, instant shining wizard, instant shining wizard, instant shining wizard, just not giving any shits about anything.
It sounds like they're just trying to make, like, it sounds like for like a grappler like King, who can't really, you're saying they've nerfed his mobility, where it's like once he gets in, you need to be afraid.
Yeah, you're gonna have a really bad time. Or he has other options to get in. Like, he has an untechable throw.
Oh.
When he's in heat, he can just RKO you, and you can do nothing about it other than guess he's gonna do the throw, duck it, and then launch him. But maybe instead, he's doing the crouch throw, right? And then you just eat shit for that. Like, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very hard.
This game is like starting to scare me right now.
I
Like,
know.
nobody is safe.
Nobody is safe. Have you seen Kazuya's damage?
I've seen a little bit of it, but I haven't seen, like, I wanted to watch Main Man Sui kind of play a little bit of Tekken and kind of, how he goes about it, because he's a really good Kazuya player. But no, I haven't seen like any of the top tier damage.
Well, I saw like one of Main Man's like top tier combos basically, and he did like 150 damage or something like that, and I was just like, oh, okay, Kazuya can just do that, I suppose. Like, Kazuya is looking like possibly the best character in the game right now.
Right.
Because he's kind of got like the complete package going on. And like, Lord help you if, you know, he's in Devil and just runs your ass over with the Hell Sweeps and the Electrics mixes. Like, it's just... I don't know if I can play fast enough.
Yeah,
My brain can't even process this stuff.
So it's like two sides of the coin, right? Where I think this is going to, and I think this might be why Harada is kind of, you know, doing, you know, bringing the combat a lot more intense in the mid range and all of that, and more rushdown heavy, is because the reason why more experienced players are just safe and, you know, really good or whatever a lot of times is because they have so many defensive options, and sometimes they don't have to just deal with situations because they're like, I'm out, you know. They're like, they just void the warranty altogether, right? So I think by making it a more close range rush down game where, you know, it's like, hey, King's in your face, time to get scared, you know, where it's, you know, where like a pro player's like, nah, I'm gonna just KBD out of this situation, and no, you don't have that opportunity anymore. You're gonna have to guess like everybody else. I think a lot of legacy players are gonna hate it.
Some characters have like a projectile. Like, we have confirmed that Nina's like guns, they do shoot a bit forward. Or like Claudio, when he's in Starburst, he has like an actual projectile that he can do. He can do the Quincy freaking like bow shot. Or June has like a shot from like her little focus stance that we saw in the trailer where she's like, whoa, you know, and like the sparkles go around her, and then she can like shoot a freaking laser beam out of her hand.
Oh, I think I missed that.
Like, we got a lot of wild stuff going on. It didn't show the laser beam in the trailer. All they showed was her little stance thing. Whoops.
Right.
Yeah, so like, now that we've seen more of the characters' movesets, we're starting to see like how bonkers, I guess, Tekken 8 really is going to be.
I'm like excited, but also terrified at the same time. Like, I'm excited to play against other people who are like in Tekken 7 might beat my ass, but maybe now I have a little bit of a chance. You know, maybe if I'm lucky, you know.
You just need to get like a good heat string in, and you're golden, man.
I'm in. And I think I didn't actually realize too how much of the game is going to be heat system heavy with passive and active buffs that characters are going to be. Actually, I don't know how many passive buffs there are. How many active buffs?
Characters get access to new moves in heat a lot of the time, so like, it's kind of crazy.
It's
like, you're gonna have to learn what they can do in heat. You're gonna have to learn what they can do out of heat.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have to. It's gonna take a while, I think, to actually like solve defense in Tekken 8, if we even can, with how powerful some options are. But Harada has said that they're monitoring like how much damage people are doing, like the character's balance and stuff like that, and this isn't like even close to the final version.
Oh yeah.
Because like, for example, this isn't even really a beta. This is closer to like a little bit past alpha, not quite in like the beta stage. This is just, hey, how is this game working? Are people like able to use these systems? Is everything working? Is our netcode up to par? And so far the netcode seems very close to Tekken 7, unfortunately.
I've heard that too. Again, like, I personally have never had, as strange as it sounds, I've never had too many online issues with Tekken 7. So, I mean, to me, that's great. And for a game that had delay-based netcode, I think it ran really well. Even though it has like a hybrid, you know, rollback.
Freaking weird. Rollback plus delay, like what? Okay.
Yeah.
They made it even weirder. You can change how your rollback functions in Tekken 8.
Really?
Yeah, so like there's prioritize graphics, which will prioritize like smoothing out the gameplay and getting like rid of the jitters, or there's normal, which is just like the normal gameplay, or there's prioritize inputs, where it will give you fewer rollbacks or like better rollbacks, right, at the expense of more jitter during the gameplay. More like, oh, they were doing this, oh, but now it's doing this kind of nonsense.
It sounds like with Street Fighter 6 how it has that you know, that little mode you can check.
It seems like it's going to be a lot more work. Because, like, why wouldn't you just have, like, one rollback setting and just focus on that and make that, like, the best you can? Instead, you're going to have to manage all 3 of these settings, and then they're going to have to work together with the other person that's playing. Like, say I'm prioritizing inputs, and they're prioritizing graphics. Like, what the hell is that going to do?
Yeah.
Like, how smooth will the game actually be and stuff like that? Like, I don't know. It seems really funky.
And it's, you know, it sounds like with Arika, like coming in and having to add the rollback to this game. Maybe it's a product of that, because it's sort of like the game exists, then Arika comes in and is like, okay, we gotta just kind of add this in somehow, you know, and they're trying to like actively work with it. And as we've kind of learned this past year, implementing rollback into like a 3D game is difficult. It's not easy. And then we saw that with, you know, Sam Show and everyone kind of struggling with that. It's like, man, this kind of sucks. Yeah, but it's rollback, but it's, you know, it's not good, but it's rollback.
Better than Street Fighter 5 at launch, right, my boys? Right.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think this is like a very early test of the rollback, and they're probably going to take a lot of the input and probably push forward for a much cleaner rollback, knowing like Arika and like how they do things. Because like I saw that for Fexel, the first like implementation of the rollback was pretty rough. So I imagine that we're kind of like at that stage with Tekken 8, and it's only gonna like improve from here.
Yeah, and then
which is my hope. Maybe I'm smoking that copium. I don't know.
Hey man, I'm right there with you. But yeah, I'm excited to actually try the beta next week. Is it next week? It's next week. Yes.
Oh yeah, I think so. No, maybe. No, it starts like the 29th, right? Oh yeah, no, okay. Yeah, no, I guess it is next week. Holy cow.
So we'll definitely know whether this week, whether we get a chance to get into the beta. And I had applied with 3 accounts. So
oh, you cheater.
Hey, here's how I looked at it. Okay, I looked at it like, if I got one, I'll just give another code to somebody else. Like if you don't get a code, I'll give one to you. So I'll give one to you so that we can talk about it on the podcast and nice. Talk about our personal experiences with Tekken 8. Because hey man, why do I need?
Hopefully we both get in though. That'd be nice.
Indeed.
I signed up like an hour after the thing went live, so come on, Harada, come on.
Please, Harada, please.
Please.
So, speaking of like other character announcements and things that have been going on, there's been a lot going on with Street Fighter 6 as of late. And I'm kind of excited for this because here, let me just pop this up really quick.
We saw Rashid, right?
We saw
Rashid proper.
We saw Rashid proper. We didn't get a chance to talk about him last week because we had Geki on. But yeah, man, Rashid, he looks like he's gonna be scary.
What is he missing? Nothing? Nothing. I'm pretty sure he's missing nothing. He looks like he's gonna be a menace, just like he was a menace in Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
Like he's like, pun intended, I think he's just gonna blow in here and then destroy everyone.
for sure. I think the only so you know, he's definitely he plays similar to his Street Fighter V counterpart. Yeah. But I think that this version of him with Drive Rush is going to be particularly terrifying. You know, and I think it's going to like kind of you know, give his rush down style another layer of like improve. Like it literally just all it does is improve his style altogether.
But we have another layer to add on top of that, because he has his new move where he can like jump forward and then like jump back on like a little like air pillow basically.
Yeah. Yes.
And
yeah.
he can do that. Like he can jump over you and then jump back over you and mix you up like that.
Yep.
Like he's gonna be a nightmare to fight. Like, you people think you have problems with like Kimberly mixing you up and stuff like that. Oh my god, Rashid's gonna be that like times 3.
I was actually thinking that same thing, was exactly that same thing when I was watching, and I was like, this is a better version of Kimberly. This is a better version in almost every way. This is a better version of Kimberly. Why would anybody want to play her?
Unnerfed Kimberly. Kimberly, get out of here. We don't need you. Get that forehead out of here.
Got a DP and everything.
Yeah, right? He doesn't... A projectile. He keeps his multi-hit tornado. Alright, sure, whatever. We'll have to see how it works, but his level 2 super, he does kind of like almost like a semi-install with the giant tornado.
Yep.
He can shoot other tornadoes through that tornado to buff them, or do other moves through the tornado, buff them. There's gonna be a lot to learn.
He actually full on with the tornado basically becomes an anime character.
He really does. He becomes like a Marvel character, right?
Yep. Yeah, he gets access to super jumps.
Playing Marvel Infinite, and we're just playing Street Fighter.
Yeah, he gets access to super jumps. You know, it buffs all of his move sets. It actually makes him run and move forward faster. So not only do you have to block the initial hurricane because there's no way to jump around it, but he just straight up gets a sort of a free mix-up situation if you do not know what to do. So that's really going to be his most terrifying aspect. And not only does he have his double jump, but he has a dive kick as well, that people are taking into consideration. The one thing that I'm kind of interested in is like, what are going to be, this character is going to have lots of like little interesting mix-ups that are going to be, that people are going to figure out. And I think he's going
to see, like, a lot of tech videos, I'm thinking.
Yep. I think this character is going to be a force to be reckoned with, and definitely be like upper mid tier, you know, if not high tier.
I think he's probably going to blast into high tier. I don't know. I don't see how, with all of the tools he has, with his normals, some of his normals are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I think it was his crouching medium kick or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the distance it covers and the frames on it were just, what are you guys thinking? I don't understand. He's looking beefy.
I think he's probably going to be like one of the best, you know, rushdown characters in the game very easily, sure. And comparable to other ones. But yeah, if you're playing Kimberly, I would honestly say like this character probably is going to dwarf that character by quite a bit. And hey, man, you could be a character loyalist, and there's nothing wrong with that. But man, he just looks like an overall better version of her. And if you really want to play Rushdown, I would say go that route, because you're not nerfed by, you know, I don't know, her setups or
being good in the beta.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he looks really good, and you know his level 2 tornado looks amazing, but it looks like he relies very heavily on that, which you know I would say you know kind of that might be you know a little bit of a downside to playing the character, as well as I don't think he has excellent you know anti-airs. That I mean that's yet to be seen. He does have his like DP tornado or whatever that may be. But that may not always be like a viable option, like, you know, when you're, if you make a mistake or something like that.
I did say it's invincible DP on EX, so he has that in the kit too.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
I don't know. I don't know what this guy's missing. Projectiles, rush down, play mid range.
I mean,
you kind of play long range with the tornado.
Arguably his tornado, you know, curving up is probably kind of the only, you know, downside to that.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, because he doesn't really have a full screen fireball. So it seems like
you can do like the ground tornado through the big tornado.
The ground tornado through the big tornado.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if
Yeah, they kind of showed that off in the video.
I think I might have saw it, but I like probably wiped it from my memory or something. But
that's fair.
We'll have to take it.
Wow, he gets a projectile too. Sure, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Why
yeah,
do I play anything else? I don't know.
But yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on him. He's coming out next week, as well with the.
I bought Ultimate, so you know, I got him. I'm gonna get him.
I think he's coming out on Saturday or Friday.
It's very soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right about the time of what is it? Tekken 8.
Yeah, actually, well, it said he's out on July 24th, but that can't wait.
Oh, 24th. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I thought it was like the 28th.
He's out tomorrow.
All right, fair enough then. I guess we'll check him out tomorrow then. My bad.
Oh hell yeah. It'll at least give us like a few days to kind of like, you know, acclimate to the character and then, you know, get a weekend of Tekken 8. Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, and then everyone picks Rashid, and then you just have Rashid mirror matches all day.
See here, I'm gonna tell you guys a little secret, okay? If you're stuck at a rank, right? Let's say if you're just completely rank orientated, here's how you bump up a free rank. All right, you wait till a character drops, and then you start to play ranked on that day because nobody knows how to play Rashid.
Yeah.
So you just steal those points, and then you get to gold or whatever, and then you just sit on it, right? And that's what people would do in Street Fighter V. They'll wait till the next character drops. They go out, they play ranked, then they get to like, I don't know, platinum or something.
Easy plats.
Yeah, it's easy platinums. You know, so if you're struggling to get to master ranked, I don't know, maybe jump into it, but
or just play Ken if you want to get to master.
It's true. It's true.
It's in his name.
I don't know. So speaking of things you don't have to master, did you see that they've actually added a new drive rush mechanic into the game?
No.
Yep.
What they do?
So they actually are making, with the Rashid update, they're making drive rush inputs easier. So you know how you have to like press forward plus the two buttons? Now you just have to press medium punch and medium kick to do drive rush. So like any drive rush normal, right? So like let's say you're doing like a normal that you can drive rush out of. You can now just press medium punch, medium kick, and it'll drive rush automatically. So there's no forward you have to do.
I like that actually, because doing parry forward was kind of annoying, and it almost seemed, I don't know, needless, because the most time that people would use their drive rush was after, you know, like their crouch medium kick or whatever is probably the most common one. You know, the crouch medium kick, drive rush, continue pressure. And so now I guess we'll be able to just easily just be like, boom, 2 buttons.
Yeah,
I'm in.
It's gonna make combos
of, you know,
way
miss
easier.
Input, parry, dent.
It's gonna take me a long time to get the forward out of my system, because I've
That's
just
fair.
when I was in the lab, I just grinded out forward, medium, whatever. But I think this is gonna help a lot of people who are struggling to get more damage out of their characters. Yeah, hey, and there's nothing wrong with that. And
They're catering to the lowest denominator. Me.
right, people who are struggling to
Bronze.
get more damage out of the characters, and I think it's going to help everyone in the long run. But I will
Still
say,
hope they nerfed the plus frames on Drive Rush.
oof,
Still open.
just
Still
all
open.
all it has to do is not eat my inputs, and I think it would be completely fair. I would love to jab at
Does,
a
like wipe out the queue.
I would love to jab at a drive, like, so when DJ Drive rushes at me, I just want to jab him, but it's like, oh no,
Way across the screen, it's just sliding in. You're like, oh shit, what do I do?
no, like DJ like puts his arms back and he runs forward. I like start to cry a little bit.
Slides.
Yeah, I love how he has like I don't even know what kind of run it is, but he has the derpiest run in the game, where he literally almost like Naruto
fantastic.
runs, but like instead of his arms out here, he puts them like near his back, and it's like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the drive rush will now be easier with the Rashid patch coming in, but that is only drive rush out of drive rush normals. That is not raw drive rush. You'll still have to do forward out of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
okay.
So there's it's not, because if it just did medium punch, medium kick, and neutral, you would parry, right?
Yeah.
It would wind up parry. But I thought that was really interesting, and to kind of like wrap this all up, all of these things, and Rashid and this drive rush, patch, or whatever, is coming out right before Evo. So
Oh, true. Is
so
he gonna be banned for Evo?
no,
No.
He's not
Wow,
banned for Evo.
Okay. I think
Yeah.
you're gonna see a lot of Rashids. People are just gonna like grind the crap out of him and then just like, oh, I'm just gonna take this character in. No one's gonna know what to do.
I think so here's my theory, my game theory.
Or just Luke's.
I think we're gonna see a lot of pro players play Rashid in pools, and then to like, so people don't know the matchup. Okay, I'm just gonna get a free win, free W's. I think it's gonna climb all the way to top 16 with maybe some with Rashid, but then once they get to top 8, people are gonna know what's up. So you'll probably see more of the standard characters.
More of the Manons,
Or-
Juries, Luke's,
Exactly. Ken, and
Ken,
um,
Dial.
yeah, Guile. And then I
The
think
game's diversity is pretty good, honestly. Just like kind of like listing off the common characters right now. Pretty good.
yeah, it's
Not
a
too bad.
it's a fairly balanced game, and everyone is viable. No one is sort of like, I mean, some characters suck, but I mean
Some
they're
characters are pretty fucking bad.
they're bad, but you could still, they're not like Roll
still
in like
win.
Marvel 2. Yeah, it's like
Ooh. All right, fair. I don't think
uh,
anyone's like Roll in Marvel 2 though. That's a special tier of bad.
she's in her own tier called Roll.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Hence the rollback.
anybody can win with those characters. But I mean, what I would love to see is it hits top 8, hits grand finals. Maybe a guy's losing, and then all of a sudden he goes over, picks Rashid. It makes like the biggest comeback of his lifetime.
And then Rashid gets nerfed.
Then Rashid gets nerfed the next
Next
day. No, the next day. Yeah,
The next day.
too good. And then sort of, we only got a couple more things to cover here, and I think we've got the MK1 drops.
Mortal Kombat's been going ham.
It
They're
has,
like,
yeah.
we have to get everything out there. Everyone has to know everything they can play. We have to confirm those leaked DLC characters are real.
Yep.
Like, whew, Jesus. It's crazy.
I would say in the past man, I want to say like 2-3 weeks or something like that. MK has dropped.
Not even that. If you just look at the past like 4 days, MK dropped the freaking Umgadi and the DLCs.
Like 16 characters. They've just straight up. We've got 16 characters. Here's another trailer.
Least.
Yeah, for another 5.
Like what? Calm down, guys. Got, like Lee May back. Whoever gave a shit about her, she's back. Her new design is a lot better. I didn't even know it was her. I thought it was like Melina when the trailer was playing. I'm like, oh, that looks weird. Melina looks a little odd.
Yeah.
Like, oh, because that's not Melina. She's punching people. Melina doesn't do that.
Well, not only that, but like Melina has like I think she was mostly wearing her mask in the last trailer, so there's no way to actually tell what she looked like.
Yeah, it's true. Then
but
we got Tanya back for people that's played MK10. I'm sorry.
Tanya? She was in MK10?
Oh, or was it 9?
She's from MK4.
Yeah, but she was a freaking menace in 9 or 10. I can't remember.
Yeah. It's been so for me when I think of like Lee May, I'm like, okay, that's Deadly Alliance. Tanya's MK4. I don't know if they've appeared since then. I can't remember.
Tanya has, but I don't think Lee May has. I think the last time we saw Lee May was Armageddon.
Okay.
Yeah, probably Armageddon.
That
was when they just like culled a bunch of characters. Like, we don't need any of you.
None of ya.
None ya.
So like I was watching the Lin Kuei trailer, and I thought it was actually, I think one thing that Mortal Kombat 1 is doing really well is in each of these trailers they're doing a great job of world building and telling you the story of the game. And I didn't realize how good it was until like I kind of just watched them both again back to back, and I'm like, damn, I'm actually interested to see what happens. I want to play this game. Yeah. And I love the idea of the world starting over again, so I can actually properly learn the story without having to like, read a scrolling text from MK1 or, whatever it may be.
True. Yeah, they're definitely putting a lot more care into like the storytelling this time around and expanding on like lores.
Yeah.
And cleaning up other characters' lore. Like, it seems like specifically with like Melina, they're really like giving us more of like a dive into her relation to Tarka and stuff like that. And hopefully like everything stays solid and like fairly tight, but it's also MK, so get your popcorn ready,
But I mean, I think that's what MK9 did so well for me, is like they just told a simple story, or they went through the game's history simply, and I was interested in the characters, and I hope that this MK1 does something similar to that, where I become invested in these characters and like actually care about them. And, not have to learn about the different forms of them, like Hellfire Scorpion or, Cyrax or, that sort of thing.
Or like all 3 Sub-Zeros, like...
Wait, are there 3 of them?
I think there's 3.
Because there's Biquan, and then there's his brother, who became the second Sub-Zero.
Yeah, Bihan and, oh my gosh, what was his name? But then there was also like the because what was it? Was it Armageddon that had another Sub-Zero?
I mean, maybe it's just like
Armageddon,
like Lin Kuei type thing.
Maybe it's a Lin Kuei type thing.
But yeah, like I was kind of looking at it a little bit, and I liked how like some of the the assists were working too. Like, you know, Sub-Zero was throwing out his like his get over here, his harpoon to pull people out of combos,
Yeah.
like while Johnny Cage was like, you know, hitting Sub-Zero. I thought that was like really cool. And the pacing of the gameplay looks pretty cool to me. I know not everybody's like a big fan of it, but this is the first time where I'm like, damn, maybe I'll get into a Mortal Kombat game. This game looks pretty damn fun.
I mean, I played a fair bit of 11, and I always felt like super restricted in like the combo structures. And it seems like for MK1, they are more focusing on like fun combos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you seem to be able to string a lot more ridiculous things together to create those fun combos. And I'm a huge like supporter of that kind of mentality.
Yeah. And not only that, but like I love the idea of like after sort of MK, by the time we got to the ability to have 3D and Mortal Kombat's ability to tell stories, 3 or 4 games had happened, and none of those were told through like scrolling text. You know, you'd have to play all 4 games and play through the stuff. So I think like this is a better way to do it. And not only that, but like show how the Lin Kuei, you know, they work as a team and how they are like a league of assassins that work together essentially. And I think that's really cool. And like, obviously we know who Scorpion is, Sub-Zero. I've always loved Smoke. From like an outside perspective, I've always thought Smoke was really cool. So
Smoke is cool.
He's just dope. And so
cool.
like I'm interested to see how he plays, and you know, even Rain, even though he looks a little goofy, but
he's like a mage now. He's got like a staff. He's like, water magic.
Yeah.
Odd. Probably be really fun though. So everyone looks fun, right? Like that seems to be their main focus is fun. And for MK1. Yeah.
Having it be fun, having a good story.
Yeah. That really seems like to be like what they want to do.
And then sort of like the same thing happened with the, like you said, like the Umgadi, where it's like I didn't know any of these, like the Umgadi. I didn't know anything about them. I guess they're like some warrior priestesses, or they're daughters of warrior priestesses, or something along those lines.
They're trained to defend the royal family.
Right, and I guess like Li Mei, like she was on duty when the emperor died, and I guess she kind of took that to heart. And
she got kicked out basically, but yeah.
And they did a fantastic job of like, you know, sort of having that dialogue between those two characters, and I think it does a really good job of like, again, bringing Mortal Kombat back to being that action movie with like, you know, a kung fu action movie with, you know, some great acting or whatever it may be.
Sure.
And then, you know,
focus on story is good.
And then I think because of Melina, it kind of explains the Tarkatans overall. And I think this is a new thing with them bringing the Tarkatans in as a disease. They're not just some kind of people now.
I don't really remember it being a disease, but like maybe it could have been one. But it being a disease makes a lot more sense, I feel. And it's a more interesting angle. So, you know, it's better than like, oh, you know, Shao Kahn, you know, made her bath Tarkatan.
Exactly. Yeah. It feels less goofy.
Yeah.
It feels less goofy. And you know, it also made like Baraka seem like he's not so much of a jobber. You know, he's actually somewhat of an important character. You know,
he's like a strong leader of his like diseased people now.
Yeah.
Like, this is looking like the best Baraka, honestly.
Best Baraka for sure.
Gameplay wise and lore wise / story wise. Even with like what little we have. He's shown more character in that than he has like in a majority of MK's history.
Right, yeah, just other than just being like a crazy beast man. Right.
Yeah.
And then obviously lastly they had the Combat Pack reveal, just
Yeah.
basically confirming all of the leaks were true.
Those confirmations. We got Homelander. We got Omni-Man. We got Ermac. We got Takeda, Quan Chi, and
Peacemaker. Yeah,
Peacemaker.
I mean, I think the show was relatively popular.
Apparently.
It could be.
We also got confirmation that J.K. Simmons will be voicing Omni-Man in MK1.
That's fantastic.
I know. I mean, WB's got infinite money they can just throw around. I'm sure we're gonna have the actors for all of them. So.
Yeah, have like
I
John
don't
Cena.
remember the name of the actor for Homelander.
It's all right. He's Homelander. That's all he. All he.
But he's probably gonna do the voice, and it's probably gonna be John Cena as Peacemaker. Like it's gonna probably be a whole thing. I don't see how it wouldn't be. Also, I just want it to go on the record that Ermac's design is freaking trash. I hate it. Why couldn't you have just gone with the MK11 design that everyone loved? Like,
Yeah.
Why is he a freaking mummy again? I don't want to see his mummy ass, stupid ass face. You're gonna sell me the MK11 outfit somewhere down the line. I know it. Bastards.
Oh, they're definitely gonna. They're like, oh, hey, it's like Mortal Kombat. I'm sorry, it's like Street Fighter 6, where they're like, hey, you could have this this version of Ken, or you could have this good version, the classic version, where he doesn't look weird and he doesn't look like a hobo.
He doesn't look like a hobo.
I mean, though I see people.
You like boob windows? Here's that Jeremy outfit you liked that we censored before.
There you go.
There you go.
And then I suppose, lastly here, just as like some short news, someone has decided to add rollback to Street Fighter 4. And this is actually really cool development, because this is one guy who is trying to mod GGPO into the game. His name is Anthony Danaducci, I think is how you pronounce it, and it's like Lulawen is his nickname. But he has been working.
Sorry if that was wrong.
Yeah, I apologize if that is incorrect. But he's been working on like the Street Fighter rollback project for a few months now, and he was a part of the team that was bringing rollback to Guilty Gear Ascent Core Plus R, which is a fantastic version of rollback. Have you ever played it? The game, it's buttery smooth. It's some of the best like online I've ever played in a fighting game.
It's like Strive.
Yeah,
it's beautiful rollback.
For sure.
It's the dream.
And so I'm really excited for this, because I feel like Street Fighter 4 was one of those games that like was so hindered by its online. And this will have another chance to breathe new life into it. I just hope maybe Capcom is like, hey, we should pay this guy to, import it, and we'll go ahead and patch it as well. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Capcom paying people?
Maybe.
I don't know. That's not really their prerogative. They're more of a cease and desist kind of company.
Capcom, hire this man.
Capcom, fire this man.
No, don't, no. Listen, Capcom, listen to me right now, please. Don't just let him do it. Just also like
let him cook, Capcom. Let him cook.
Look, I want you to watch a video for me if you're seeing this, Anthony. I want you to watch a video called "Shut the Fuck Up," and it's this video where a guy goes over the history of like games that were like fan-made games, and it's Wooly from Wooly Versus, and he's like, "Hey, this Metroid 2 game you're making? Shut the fuck up about it. Don't tell people that you're making it. Maybe when the game's launched, but until then, don't keep it on the low. Okay, yeah. Don't talk about it, dude. Just let it, Stealth release it. I don't want to hear any more event hubs that I got this article off of. Please stop promoting this, okay? I need you to take this article down.
This needs to be a secret, our little secret.
And so there was also like a little subtext here. There's also an announcement that this small team is attempting to bring Rollback to Ultimate Marvel 3 as well. So it really seems like the team in general and these people are going to be like, okay, we know how this works. Capcom, hey, look, maybe you could hire us. Maybe you could pay us to bring the Rollback in. If not, we'll just release it as a fan, a fan game. And if then that's that. But until then, hey, man.
Fan game? Oh, I don't like the words that you're using.
Shut the fuck up about don't talk about it. It's fine.
Chrono Trigger Resurrection died.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm gonna link that video in my description too, so you guys can check it out on the podcast, wherever you're.
I've seen it. It's definitely recommended watching.
Exactly, especially in this case. Yo, Magoo, thank you for the gifts, by the way, much appreciated. But yo, Quint, where can people find you?
Streaming on twitch.tv/quintessencehd, on the Backlog podcast, of course, and posting memes on Twitter, also Quintessence HD. Basically, I'm just Quintessence HD everywhere. I'm trying to start a Kick still, seeing how that goes. Got to get that $16 an hour,
Got to. And you guys can check him out. His link and socials will be in the description. And also, if you're here on Twitch, his handle will be in the title as well. So you should be able to find him through there.
Oh, look at that. There it is.
Yeah. But yo, you can find the Backlog on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and you can find us anywhere you get podcasts. But until then, guys, this has been the Backlog podcast number 59. We'll see you soon. Peace out, y'all.
Take care.
Bye-bye.